Hey loves, it's me, Love Jones. I am back with another one. Oh boy. Mm, Y'all, I bought some kiwis from Walmart. These things here. I was eating the first couple of them. I noticed they were kind of hard. They weren't like the last thing container I bought of them because those were good and they were really soft. Now these were kind of hard, but I was trying to just cut through it and eat it instead because I figured they may just weren't all the way right. And so as I tried to cut through them, they weren't cutting, which I thought was strange. So of course I went to examine it a little bit more, and it was like you can peel back layers on it. I've never seen that on kiwis before. I will pull it out this bag and show y'all, but I don't even want to touch it again. My hands are gonna get all sticky. But you could like see layers of it actually peel back layer by layer by layer. Which leads me to believe that these cucumbers may not, cucumbers, there's nothing wrong with the cucumbers I bought, that these kiwis may not be real. It's just so funny. I was in the store thinking about what fruit is real now these days. As I was buying them, I'm checking out other fruit. I haven't even seen globe grapes in the store in a while now. Every time I go in there looking for grapes to buy, I can never find any of the seeded ones. It's like they just took them off the shelf, period. It's like, what are y'all doing with all the real fruit? And so I was trying to find those gold grapes, but I couldn't find any. And end up getting these kiwis, which I just don't think they're real. I've never seen a kiwi in layers, just peeled back in layers like that. It reminded me of that string cheese where you can just peel back the string and eat it piece by piece. That's how the layers look. And then I couldn't cut through it either. When I tried to cut it, it would just kind of smush together. I thought that was really weird. So I don't know, y'all. You're trying to eat healthy, but it's just not that many things left out there that I feel like are real. All the fruit, all the vegetables seem like, I don't know, y'all. It just don't seem right to me. They have a different taste to them. They don't look the same. They don't feel the same. It's so funny because I was supposed to start my little garden like years ago, about 2 years ago. I started collecting seeds from the fruit or vegetables that did appear to be normal to me. Because we've been talking about something's gonna go on with this food for the longest, y'all. We've been saying that there could possibly be some type of shortage, but they have seemed to work through this by making fake meat. And if they putting together fake meat, I can imagine they would do the same thing with fruits and vegetables. And so maybe that's why there hasn't really been a shortage of it yet. But anyway, a couple years ago, I started saving seeds off the fruits and vegetables that I found with no problems, like that taste the same, have the same taste, the same texture as they used to have. Because I feel like those are less likely to be tampered with. When there's one that has a particular smell, a particular taste to it, or the texture seems different, I figured that's one that's already tampered with. So a couple of years ago, I just started saving seeds. I said I was going to make my own garden and just start eating from my own garden. But of course, everything starts happening and they start shaking up everything in your life. And just like a bunch of other stuff, you're just never able to do it. And so 2 years later, I still have those seeds. I haven't been able to add to it, but I still have the ones that I have. I just still haven't been able to start this garden. Uh-uh. And I still plan on it because I just don't feel like it's something about these fruits and vegetables, y'all. I'm not feeling. And it's at the point now where I kind of don't even want the seeds that are in the fruits and vegetables here because you question them. It's like, are they, like, if the fruit is not real fruit, then how could the seeds be real seeds? Like, why is the fruit doing what it's doing? You try to eat healthy, but these days you don't even know what you be eating. You don't know what it is you're putting in your body. And so, yeah, I have to get to a place where I can grow my own food because I'm really not feeling this food. And aside from that, I'm so sick of eating fast food. Not just fast food, but I mean, I only eat pretty much at this one place anyway. Every now and then I would deter from this one place. But I've gotten to the point where I really don't even trust them. I don't know, y'all. No, I'm always hesitant about my food anyway because everything that's going on around me. And so I'm always, paying real close attention to my food because you never know who's been told what and what they could have done to the food and how people move when they get paid to do certain things. And so I always watch my food. But I don't know, these last few times I've eaten a hamburger, which is funny because 2, 3 years ago, I rarely ate hamburgers. Matter of fact, I rarely ate meat. Every now and then I would eat meat. I was on this whole vegetable thing. I would eat a lot of vegetables. And I got to the point where I was trying to substitute the meat that I was eating for different mushrooms. Of course, I can't do that now in the situation that I'm in. Like, I can't even do any cooking at all. So I'm depending a lot on restaurant food. And so I've gotten back to eating a lot of food that I didn't eat before because I kind of have no choice now. And so anyway, I've been eating these hamburgers and I've been looking at them. Like, you get a close up of the burgers that you're eating, and the meat don't even really look like meat anymore. It's like I've been looking at these little fiber type of things in the meat. I'm like, I know this isn't hair, but why does it look like it has like fiber sticking from it? And then it dawned on me the way that I seen them create that lab meat that they create. I don't know if it's moved on into beef or pork or other stuff. I'm sure it has, but back then when I was watching them create the different chickens, it would like mend itself together. And just thinking of the way it would kind of bond itself together over time. I'm looking at these hamburgers with these little like fibers in it, and I'm wondering, it's like, I don't think I'm eating real meat. Like, I feel like I'm eating lab meat or something. I'm just over the whole food thing, y'all. And so, like I said, I try to go to the store and so I can kind of lay off eating so much of what I have been eating. So I go to the store to get this fruit, and the fruit doesn't taste like fruit. Not only that, it won't cut like it should be cutting. And it's layers. Have y'all ever seen kiwi in layers? So funny because I hadn't eaten a kiwi in a long time, and then I bought them maybe like a week or two ago, and they were so soft and so good. You know, you didn't have to cut right through them because, you know, you could just, after you peel them, you can just eat them. And I was reading this inside the container, and I thought it was cool because it says, did you know that kiwis have more fiber than a bowl of cereal? They have more vitamin C than an orange. They have more potassium than a banana, and they have vitamins E and K more than an avocado does. And so I was thinking to myself, well, this is a really good fruit to eat regularly. And so I went in this morning, believe it or not, I just went into the store to buy a notebook, to buy 2 notebooks to be exact. And I end up getting all this other fruit and vegetables only to be sitting here eating these kiwis, and they just are not the same as those last ones I bought. Completely different. They're not soft like the last ones. These are hard. They won't cut. They get kind of mushy when you try to cut them, and it kind of mushes into each other. And then when you kind of like almost kind of fondle the mush, then it like peels back in layers, and it's disgusting. And so I don't even want to eat these 2 that I have left because I'm looking at it now like it's not real fruit. Maybe this is some type of lab fruit or something. Man, I can't wait till I get to the point where I can start traveling again, because I'm going to be saving a lot of seeds from the fruit and the vegetables that I buy that are in other countries, places that I know care a little bit more about their food and what they feed people than they do over here, because this has gotten to be ridiculous. And I guess if there's starting to be a food shortage and they're trying to keep everyone from panicking, you know, then this is their version of it. But I don't like this, y'all. I don't know what I be eating. I've been talking for 13 minutes now. I don't like it. Look, I cut the cards on fast food, y'all. I cut the cards on that. I wasn't. That's funny. Yeah, so these little fibers that be in these hamburgers, like I was disgusted by looking at that. Thought I was tripping last time I looked at it and seen it. And so I paid close attention this time as I was eating it, and I noticed the same thing. I'm like, this meat is not real meat. This meat is not real meat. Fruit is not real fruit. So, man, I'm gonna keep the little seeds that I have already, and I'm just going to try to add to them as I travel whenever I get the chance to travel again, because I haven't in almost 2 years now, which is crazy because at one point I was going places 3, 4, 5 times a year. I was out of the country. Uh, I was out of the country and there's something else to do. It's so funny. Yeah, when I talk about going outside, I didn't mean go outside literally going outside to the club. Like, I went outside and I went all the way across the world. It's so much better like that. It was less drama. I feel like since I've gotten outside over here, there's so much drama and so much confusion and so much hate and animosity that's been built up, and just all this weird stuff going on. And just because I've gotten outside over here, my whole life felt like it's just been torn down since I started getting outside over here in Georgia, in Atlanta. I don't know, maybe Gemini has a lot to do with that. There's a lot of hatred, a lot of envy that goes on, and it's sad. You think being in a place like this, people would know who they are, and therefore they don't have to look at you and be haters and be jealous, be envious of what it is you have going on, because they're secure in who they are and what they have, for that matter, because a lot of these people, they have way more than I ever had. And granted, I know how to manage what I have very well. I do very well with managing, and so I may have appeared to have way more than I actually did, but that's because I know how to manage it very well, and that's why I was able to move around like I was while still investing in the things that I was able to invest in. But man, it's so much, it's just been so much hate and jealousy and envy. And you know, when you're not in the right place around the right people, how that can have an impact on what it is that you're trying to do, an impact on the things that you're trying to build for yourself. And so I've just kind of watched my stuff just be torn all down, just torn completely down, because I went outside here instead of continuing what I was doing, going outside somewhere else. Uh, yeah. And then I'll be reading these things like you can't tell people everything you're doing. You know, when people feel like you're starting to brag, they look at you differently. But here's the thing, I'm not even really a social media person like that. But what I was doing, which was traveling, was also a part of the business that I was trying to grow. And so I posted a lot about that because that's what I was doing, trying to convince other people to travel too. I, a travel agent, putting together itineraries and scheduling other people's travel. And so I would post a lot of the things that I would do, but it only brought more hate to the situation. It only brought more jealousy, more envy. People watching what you're doing and they want to do it, and maybe they couldn't afford to do it. But I mean, maybe you're just managing your money wrong. Be surprised, it doesn't take a whole lot to travel. But if you're trying to travel and look a certain way, if you're trying to travel, some people do it for themselves and some people do it for the gram. And if you're just doing it for yourself, it doesn't take that much to travel. I have a lot of people in my family, a lot of people that I dealt with, a lot of people around in my vicinity that want to travel and they wanted to do the things that I was doing. And you can tell that they were slick jealous and envious of what I was doing. But you try to book a flight or something, you talk about going somewhere and they only fly Delta. I mean, when they say beggars can't be choosy, and so if you know you can't afford to travel regularly, then maybe you need to come down a little bit on what it is that how you're trying to travel. Last time I checked, I mean, I haven't heard of a plane crashing, so um, I don't know what's the problem with you coming off a Delta flight that you're paying three, four, sometimes five times as much as you would if you fly something else, American or Frontier or even Spirit. A lot of people don't like to fly Spirit. I have flown Spirit a couple of times. I had no problem, none whatsoever. I made it to my same destination without any problems, without any delays, without any of the ghetto nonsense that they like to post and say this is Spirit. it was just fine. The only difference is maybe the seat size and the snacks that you would get. You have to pay for certain things versus other things you wouldn't pay for on a flight to Delta anyway. Yeah, they were paid to do it. Somebody was paid to do something. I don't know, y'all. This, yeah, jealousy, envy is what it is. People trying to steal something from you. Your light for one, but they don't want to see you get better than what you already are, because they see that you're already doing well for yourself. And so, forbid you have something coming in because now you're going to do even more better than them. In their eyes, this is what people look at it like. And the whole time, there's no competition. Like, I'm not trying to do better than you, I'm just trying to do better than me. I'm just trying to do good for myself. But that's not how people look at it. You don't want to be around people like that. And so, I've gotten to the point where I don't, not really around anybody. I just be by myself all the time, all day, every day. My phone don't ring unless it's one of my kids. Matter of fact, I've changed my number, and so my phone is not gonna ring unless it's one of my children because they're the only ones that have my phone number at this point. I don't know. So, but anyway, whenever I get a chance to travel again, I'm definitely gonna be saving my seeds and bringing them back with me. If I don't be trying to stay in the trying to stay in the country that I'm traveling to, because like I don't know what's here, y'all. I don't know what's here. You know, you don't want to be around a bunch of hateful, jealous, envious people who are always trying to bring you down. You don't want to be around someone who always sees you as competition. So yeah, um, yeah. I also just want to eat regular food for a change. I want to eat food and know that I'm eating what it is. You know, in some countries they don't play that creating different food or using certain pesticides on food. Or, you know, they don't do that. It's illegal in some countries to even do that. They don't play about their food, and then over here, I feel like we get fed anything. Yeah, I'm laughing, but I'm serious. I just want to get back to the point where I can, first of all, I can cook what I want to cook. And that way, I don't have to depend so much on these people cooking my food for me. And then, second of all, where I know that I'm eating real food. When I go in the grocery store and buy something, I know that it is what it is and not someone's version of it. I don't know, y'all. Al says follow your intuition. A card I was reading last night says zoom out so you can have a different perspective on things. I feel like this what this person has done. As you can see, this person is looking at something from a higher view. Also through the eyes of an owl. An owl has 360 vision. I feel like you see a lot of things that are taking place around you. Maybe you're being tasked with not reacting to everything that you see because you see everything. Maybe not everything, but most things. Granted, an owl has 360 vision, but unless an owl turns his head and looks behind him, then he can't really see what's going on behind him. But your intuition probably tells you a lot. Yeah. Follow your intuition. That's what the card says. What's your intuition telling you to do? Move around. Move around. Maybe away from where you currently are. Not saying that I'm a prophet, but they say prophets aren't appreciated in their own hometown. Um, Jesus had to leave from where he was in order to make a difference, in order to gain a following, in order for people to believe in him, because people just looked at him as like that little boy that they seen growing up. But it's so funny about that is I don't even live in my hometown, but I've been here for 20 years, and maybe that's long enough. And I'm not sure how that is because, like I said, I just started getting outside, y'all, and now all of this hatred and envy. Like, I've been here for 20 years, but for 20 years, I've been in the house pretty much for 20 years. Go to work and come home. People meet me and know me because of my job. Outside of that, family and maybe a couple of friends that I grew up with who are here or who came here to visit. Otherwise, you're really only going to meet me at work because that's all I really ever done was go to work, come home. You go do your regular things, uh, grocery stores, getting gas, and for me, I'm very routine with things, so I would kind of do things same day, around the same times, going to the same places. I rarely switched it up. I've actually been switching it up now more than ever because I don't like the way that other people move around me. And so I try to switch it up every now and then just to throw other people off because I know they're watching. I don't know why I told y'all all of that. Maybe it's something someone needs to do. Maybe you like me. Maybe you need to move from out of wherever you are. Maybe it's keeping you small, holding you back, holding you down. You have people around you trying to keep you from growing. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you in a certain position that maybe have them feeling a way about where they are in life. You would think it would be encouraging to them to do something different with their lives rather than just try to beat yours down. Everybody doesn't think the same. Everybody don't move the same. People don't have the same common sense. They say common sense isn't very common. And so it is what it is. You're in the sky here. There's a lot of birds, a lot of wings, a lot of butterflies around you. I feel like you're going through a lot of transformation and you are finding yourself maybe having to rise above situations, a lot of different situations. They say when you find yourself having to be the bigger person in everything, then you're probably not around the right people. You shouldn't have to be the bigger person every time. You could be connected somehow to the planets, the stars, the moon, or something. I'm noticing these planets here. There are several owls in this picture. You could have a lot of wisdom. You could be a very wise person, maybe wise beyond your time. I don't know, Chris could have something to do with this. I say that because that name has been significant to a lot. I don't know, Chris could be a Virgo. See, I'm thinking about the last reading I did, not the last one, but one of them in specific when a lot of signs were coming out. Virgo, I seen Virgo too. I just didn't mention it. It's so funny. My brother is a Virgo whose name is also Chris. That's why it's all coming to me because I seen Virgo in that reading, and I've been getting signs that said Chris all the time. Before I kept getting stuff that said Jimmy. Jimmy has something to do with something. Like it was Jimmy all around me. Every time I looked, something said Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy. It's funny, and I would say my nephew name was Jimmy. It's Jimmy. Not realizing that I also have an uncle whose name is Jimmy. Completely forgot about him because that's the side of the family I was never really around. But I have an uncle whose name is Jimmy as well. And it never dawned on me that that could be the Jimmy that kept popping up. But I said that to say lately, I've been getting Chris with everything. Going Walmart, I hear Chris on the radio, playing on Walmart. They say the songs are made coming from Chris. I guess whoever put that playlist together was named Chris. I'm listening to this song by Chris Cross, which, believe it or not, this is a very old song, but I've been hearing it now way more than I feel like I should be hearing it, considering the age of this song. I've been getting a lot of Chris lately. Someone's name definitely could be Chris. Chris can play a very vital role in whatever it is that you're going through. It's so funny. I talk about Masons, and I notice some Masons they want to be so secretive about what it is they do, while other ones don't have any problem at all with telling you that's who they are. And I don't know what the difference is. Why some like to be so secretive about it, and others are so open with it. Some people lie to the end about being Masons, while others they have a whole Mason email. I was working one time, and at that job that I was at, you have to ask people for their email address. This man was clearly a Mason, and not only that, he didn't have a problem with it being in his email. And so you ask him for his email address, you know exactly what it is. And it's so funny. That was an older white man, but I had this other person at my property one time. It was like a middle-aged black man, and it's like he noticed the older white man, and he did some kind of weird hand move, and the man kind of looked kind of really weirdly, and just kind of did his head like that, as to say, "Yeah, I recognize you for who you are." But it was so funny because all I could think of in my head is this must be a new Mason here. It must be someone who's just been initiated because they were so anxious. He was so anxious to show who he was and that he was a part of the group. It was like he was so excited about it. And the other older white man that I've been dealing with for quite some time, like he wasn't that enthusiastic. It was like he wasn't even impressed, to be honest with you. It was like so normal. But the other guy was so excited about showing him. And the man's reaction was just like, yeah, I see you. And he just went on about his business. And it's so funny. It's like these ones, I guess, that are newly initiated, they be so excited about doing certain things, about being in certain places, about recognizing other ones for who they are. While the ones who clearly has been in it for quite some time aren't that, excited, aren't that pressed to do certain things that those ones who are just initiated are clearly pressed about. Because he gave the most nonchalant reaction. And I thought it was just so funny. I'm like, did I just see this happen? I know, y'all. He did like something really quick, like a series or something really quick. And I guess it's maybe something they could do to communicate with each other, to show each other, you know, they are a part of the same thing. And I said that to say I have people who are in my family who are attached to the, you know, it is what it is. But it's like they're so secretive about it. It's like they would never admit it. I've never asked, but they just seem to be so hidden when it comes down to it. It's like, what are you hiding? What's so secretive about it? I'm not sure. Like, why do some people hide it so hard? Try so hard to pretend like they're not attached to it, while others don't seem to have a problem with telling you who they are. And so it's funny because my readings, I was talking about kind of being watched by Mason. And you can tell they are who they are. They have a certain type of energy about them. And so it's funny that I mentioned that. And today has been one of those days where I've been surrounded by this name that keeps coming out, which I just mentioned, who I know is connected to them as well. And I don't know what point. Like, I don't know what this is and what this means. It could be significant to you. Maybe you know someone who is in that group. I don't know. Maybe this person could help you. Maybe this person has been responsible for tearing you down. I don't know. I don't know. This person's in the sky again. I don't know why, y'all. I just heard to my folks who ain't alive, I pray they live in the sky. That's one of T.I.'s songs. Somebody could be finna pass away. Somebody could be already passed away. Two cars, and I've seen these people are both flying on these cars. They have a bird's eye view. Speaking of the owls that are in this card, this first card, don't the Masons supposed to be people who have so much wisdom, the enlightened ones? The enlightened ones. Could really be significant with something. Somebody's name could be Chris. Maybe somebody could be a Mason. Maybe someone has done something. They could be about to pass away. There are a lot of birds on this card. These birds could resemble your ancestors, your guardian angels, people who are watching over you. You know, it even looks like this bird is flying so close. It looks like it could be a costume or something that she's wearing. You could be covered, like your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides could be surrounding you at all times, protecting you. I feel like not only are there a lot of people you have that are protecting you, these are some little babies down here too, little baby birds. And so you could have children who are also guides to you that are protecting you as well. Or maybe it's something you're supposed to do to protect these children. It says stand up for all animals, but there's no animals on this card other than birds. This card is full of birds. Something's right here. It's almost like Christmas lights or something. When do people put up lights? Like Halloween time, Christmas time, around now, during this season. Someone could be passing away during these holiday seasons. And I see a lot of faces in this card as well, which speaks to even more you're being protected by passed over people. You're being protected by angels, by ancestors, by they have their wings. You know, when we say angels, ancestors are the highest white light, spirit guides, the highest white light, these spirit guides have their wings. So there are some in the human form because I can kind of see the faces here. But there are some I feel like that can take forms of other things. Although they're bright, they dwell in the dark up here. So you may be protected by both light and dark. I feel like you have the protection over you by both light and dark. Celebration. Let go and have fun. Maybe something you've been holding on to, something that's been had you held down for some reason. It says let go, whatever this is, and have fun. Enjoy your life. She's dancing. You could be a dancer. Again, I see butterflies on here. It symbolizes transformation. You could definitely be going through some type of transformation here. There is something coming from her fingertips. Maybe you have some type of healing or something that it's like power in your hands because there's definitely something almost like a rainbow mist that is coming from her fingertips. Also, her hair is made like that of trees. You could be really connected to nature. You're connected to Earth. You're connected to the universe. I also feel like you give off a lot of light as well because, as you can see, with these rainbow, this magic that's coming from her fingertips, all of this down here is lit up. But then if you look up here, you can still see the stars in the sky in the night. I feel like you're highly connected to the universe and you have some type of magic within you or some type of like healing in your hands or something. And see, this card right here says an animal bond, but I was saying I only see birds on this picture. And then I pulled this celebration card, and it's a whole lot of animals down here. And so that's confirmation that you're connected somehow to these animals, but not only to the animals, to the earth, to the universe, to the things that are, to all living things. Yeah. Something about you is very healing. Ooh, that's too many cards. Okay. Unicorn. Yeah, something about you that's very magical, very special. Invite serendipity. This unicorn's hair is made out of the same rainbow type of colors that you see that's coming from the fingers of this person as well. There's something very magical about you. Look like she has some type of wheat or barley or something that's in her hand she's holding on to while she sleep. Somebody could, somebody could like corn. Um, was just talking about a garden. This person could definitely like some type of garden. She appears to be laying in a field of flowers, but not only that, she's one with that unicorn. Something very whimsical about you. And I still see faces even in the land. I see faces. Which again tells me there's protection all around you. No matter where you go, no matter who you are with, you are protected all over. This thing almost, the unicorn even appears to have like some type of goatee or something. It looks like this could be a very wise unicorn. I don't know why. I'm getting that. And again, I see more faces, y'all. Every time, the more I look at this card, the more faces I see in the weirdest places. I see faces. Y'all probably can't see this. There is a face in the grass right here. Face right here in the grass. There are also, look, as you can see those eyes right there. It's faces that are in these, whatever this is, look like rainbow colors. There are faces inside of this, right inside of this right here. And this face in the grass over here. You are highly protected. Whether you're awake, whether you're sleeping, wherever you go, you are highly protected. I'm going to take this as the last card since I've been already on here for almost an hour. It says, think big for your future potential. Even on this card, you seem to be in some type of snow globe. So I feel like it's almost, maybe you feel like you could be trapped or something. There's only so much you can do. But even in this card, you have a bird on your hand, which tells me you are still protected. And there are fairies all around you that are watching you. So even where you are, if you feel like you don't have much movement or can't do a whole lot, in order to unbound yourself, you are still protected where you are. And there is still so much light coming from this, which tells me there's still so much magic coming from this. And not only do you have that dove on your hand, again, you have these fairies down here. Someone could be watching you in amazement. They could be amazed by what you're able to do while you are in the situation that you are in, while you are trapped, so to speak. I don't know if I necessarily want to call it trapped, but you're inside of a snow globe. Maybe you're surrounded by cold. It could be cold where you are, but you could just be surrounded by cold people, cold-natured people, people who don't care, people who don't really have a heart. But somehow you're still able to create this magic with all of this light that's coming from the snow globe. And you're still able to hold the attention of someone who I feel like is keyed in on you. It's like they are focused. But we did say you could even have the protection of children. This does look like a child, but it doesn't have to be a child who's so focused in right there. They are focused on whatever it is that you're doing. And so I don't know, y'all. I don't know what all this means. We've been on here for an hour already. I'm just going to go ahead and end this video. I'll probably come back with another one. So I'll be back, y'all.